the heart and soul behind every business. Stories. Welcome to Business Story of the Week, hosted by me, Joshua Laurie. From setbacks to comebacks, from tragedies to triumphs, we inspire entrepreneurs through conversations that matter. Witness the magic that turns dreams into reality. Whether it's your career, business, or life, your success is always one story away. This is Business Story of the Week.
Hey, my name is RG Enzon, and welcome to the Business Story of the Week.
Fantastic. And that is RG. He is going to be our guest for today. He is going to be sharing his insights for us and going to be sharing his experience. And today, of course, I'm your host, guided by your host, Joshua. And we always start with a question, a riveting question, or an interesting question. It's like, why do you think, what do you think is the biggest missed opportunity for small businesses, especially in the digital world today? Well, RG is the perfect guest to answer that question for us. RG Enzon is a tech entrepreneur, active duty U.S. Navy sailor, and founder of digital marketing agency Enzon Media. With a passion for supporting small businesses, RG combines years of experience in SEO, UX, and branding to help entrepreneurs grow their presence online. Through her SaaS business, Enzon Media, RG aims to provide affordable, integrated solutions to help local business thrive in this digital landscape. Her expertise extends to mentoring and empowering small business owners across the US, and I'm very excited to talk about what he does for Enzon Media and everything under the sun and what your story is. RG, thank you for coming on to the show. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for having me here, Joshua.
All right, fantastic. I mean, it's first off, it's always nice. And where do we go back as far as origin stories? That's where I always start. I like thinking about like before we dig our teeth deep into this. Where did this all begin? Like you think about the potential of technology back when you built your first website in 2008,
Yeah.
right? Like, right? And you talk about that. And what was that pivotal moment for you like? Was the young RG always interested in tech? How do you bring that moment for your first website in 2008 to what you do today?
Man, that brings me back. But yeah, I guess like that's a like that's a great question because I think since like childhood I've always been about technology. I've always loved being in front of computer. I was growing up and I always loved playing computer games and all that stuff. And then fast forward to like going to college. Like I'm born and raised in the Philippines,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
my mom is like your typical Asian mom was all about you're either a doctor, a nurse, or an engineer, right?
Can't be anything
um,
else.
exactly. And then I said I don't want to do that. And then obviously like she tried to like really have me do nursing and all that stuff, but I was like, look, I'm really passionate about technology, and this is what I want to pursue. And like I was still in college when I first created my first website, and like it just went from there.
Wow, and I love that, of course, because it's not easy. It's a challenge going against our parents' wishes. Is especially in a traditional Asian household. Any of our audience can relate to that, who has been through that. And it's like again, there's only very few limited options that our parents will be proud of. And imagine the disappointment in finding out that you decided to do a website instead. You're gonna sit at your computer all day. But RG, you
Yep.
also went through. You also served in the Navy, and this is part of your journey as well. I want to talk a little bit about that, lay a bit of foundation and the groundwork on here. Talk to us about your experience in the Navy. You served for 11 years. Was that part of the plan at all? And what did your mother think about that?
No, not at all. So that one basically, our parents decided to like bring us to the United States. I was that was like before my 18th birthday. And then I basically went back and forth to the Philippines to finish my degree over there. And then when I came back to the US, I was like, all right, what is like, like the fastest way for me to get a job? And I was young, dumb and stupid, right? And then I was like, I want to work for Google. But during this time, like if you want to work for like companies like that, you gotta have security clearance. But before you get a security clearance, you gotta have your citizenship. But because I kept going back and forth to the Philippines, my timer for my naturalization reset back to zero. So I figured, all right, what's the fastest way for me to get step one, which is my citizenship? And my dad was like, hey, like if you join the military, you can potentially get your citizenship much faster than waiting 5 years, with like compared to like a normal time frame.
Okay. Yeah.
So I was like, why not, right?
Why
And
not?
then
All right.
I joined, and I remember I was at the recruiting station, did my test and all that stuff, and then you get to pick a job if you
Okay.
score,
Right.
like I guess good enough, like a good enough score.
Were you ever
And
deployed at
then
all?
yeah, yeah,
All right.
definitely.
Wow. That's very, I mean, 11 years, right? 11 years of service.
Yeah,
It sounds like this wasn't, again, it wasn't in the radar, but
yeah,
it was an opportunity that you decided to pursue because it was a quicker route. But you stuck around for 11 years. What was that like? And what was the decision surrounding that?
yeah. I think I guess like my first enlistment, which is like my initial tour, I wanted my citizenship. But when I joined, I didn't get the job that I wanted because of my citizenship issue. Obviously wanted to go for IT in the military, but you can't get it until like you get your citizenship. So I asked I like we call it a classifier. I asked, and then I was like, all right, what kind of job will put me in front of a computer all the time, right?
That's a
And
question.
then
You asked the right questions right there. I want to be direct about it. Computer in front
yeah,
all the time. What was it?
yeah, and then he was like, it's basically the same job as me. And then he was like, I work for HR/ payroll and all that stuff, like basically finance stuff. And then I was like, so you're always in the computer? I was like, yeah. And I was like, all right, sign me up, right?
Yeah, let's do it.
And then
Okay.
yeah, like and then at first I didn't like it because like it wasn't about IT stuff. But I was like as I progressed, I was like, man, this shit is easy, right?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
then like it was easy and like but it's also like it started like helping me shift because like like when I joined, I really joined for like
Of course.
selfish intentions, but as I see that like the job is really rewarding because like a lot of people in the military they get pay issues and all that stuff, and when that happens, they can't focus on the mission because like
Oh,
who's
I
gonna feed
see.
their
Of
family,
course.
right? So basically, like as I see that like I'm learning and then I get to solve people's problems. I was like, oh, this is a pretty rewarding job. And then my first enlistment, I got married, but my wife, she was kind of new to the United States too.
Hmm. Okay.
So I was
Okay.
like, I had like that kind of like fear that like, what am I gonna do when I get out, right?
Exactly.
Because
Exactly.
like, so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do another re-enlistment. So I did that, and then I was already like towards 8 years in, and I was like, this is stupid to like even think about getting out because like I really like the job anyway. Plus, because I'm also always in the computer, I get to do like all this digital marketing agency stuff and all that stuff
Right.
anyway. So I was like,
Wow.
why not, right?
Fascinating. All right. So that journey kind of really led you to where you are right now, and but
Exactly.
what really was constant was you pursuing what you really wanted. Like I wanted to do IT, I want to do tech, and this really laid the groundwork for you for where you are now with Enzon Media. And of course, you've had experience, combining SEO, your user experience design. You had a lot of that, doing all of that for clients and organizations as well. Where did this all begin for you? Where does the digital marketing landscape start for you, and how did you start picking up all these experiences in order to build a successful digital, presence for your clients?
I think like it's really out of like passion about like helping my family. 'Cause when I was still in the Philippines, like my mom had like a side business, but she had like her 9 to 5 job.
Hmm.
And then I was just trying to figure out, all right, how can I help them like with the like with getting getting the business more out there and all that stuff. At first, like I was all about technology, but I was like, this thing is not gonna sell itself. Like, we still get to know marketing. You gotta understand psychology in order for you to make sales, because
Yes,
like
very
like you
important.
gotta understand like how people tick,
Hmm.
what gets them to buy, right?
Of course.
So I basically just like like just I just really got obsessed about it. And then I started like really like trying to solve our own family business problem
Hmm.
first. And then when I started seeing the like, oh shit, like the things that I'm doing are working, I started like, branching out and like finding clients and all these stuff.
Fantastic. I love that you touched up on psychology on that one because it's one thing to do digital marketing, it's one thing to have that, but having the psychology behind it is another aspect of the whole, digital presence out there. And I feel like this touches up on the opening question that we have. What is that biggest missed opportunity? And I feel like psychology and strategy plays around that. But of course, running a business is an entirely different psychological aspect for you as well. Now you have
Yeah.
Enzon Media, right? And you also renamed and rebranded, right? Because these are parts of a journey of an entrepreneur, of a business owner. RG, of course, I want to draw some parallels in there with your experience in the Navy. If running a business was like sailing through a storm on a ship, what would you say are the anchors that keep you steady, especially in an ever changing pace or an ever changing landscape of the digital turbulent times?
I guess like, like I hate to say this, but it's really more about like your how passionate you are. Because like,
Interesting.
like I don't really like saying that, like follow your passion, because at the end of the day, passion does not really pay the bills, right?
Of course, of course.
Um for to me, it's more of like like just chipping away into like being good at something, like kind of like you put 10,000 hours into one thing, that way you get mastery of that thing. But yeah, like I guess like like passion slash building up your skills, and really like thinking about your why, right? Because like when you start losing direction or like your motivation, what comes after that? Probably nothing, right? But like if you have something the back of your mind, it's like like you're doing it for that specific reason, plus like like you practice building your discipline, and
Yeah.
you're committed to that, to that goal, then you're not gonna fall off, even though like when times get hard and all that stuff.
I love that. And of course, it circles back to your story as well, right? Like in your story, like you were very clear on what you wanted to do. You're very clear with your passion. It doesn't pay the bills at the end of the day, but it will keep you. You have that North Star. It'll keep you in that one direction. You'll know what to pursue when you lose your way. And I love that you remind us today of that because, of course, we're our audience and listeners out there, a mix of startup entrepreneurs, business owners, and it's nice, it's a nice reminder to have once in a while, like what is your North Star, what is your why, and why are you doing this business in the first place? RG, on our research, and of course the one that you provided to us prior to this interview as well, you mentioned how you and your wife went from having zero credit to building a thriving business, and you also talk about like your story behind meeting her and being new over there in the US as well. What's the story behind the journey that you've done together? But also, mostly, how did you get from zero to having a thriving digital business right now? And how has it influenced the way you help others grow?
Yeah. So I guess like the interesting thing is like the thing that I sent you. It's really our second business. It's not even like the digital marketing stuff anymore.
Yes,
About like 2 years, just over 2 years ago, my wife had like her 9 to 5 job, right? And then like I remember like she used to come home feeling defeated, and it's like she's just getting tired of like the toxic environment at her workplace. So I was like, like damn, I'm getting tired of like hearing her, with like her struggle. Like I wish I could help her. And I knew back in my mind that like if I can do one thing without, without the money, without anything else, that would be about digital marketing. So, and then we discovered this niche, and then the niche is really dog boarding. Basically, it's like babysitting, but for your dogs. And then I told her, I was like, hey,
Wow.
like, why don't we try this? And then
Okay.
but like basically she was like, like she was hesitant at first. I was like, like what's there to lose? Like
Yeah. Give it a try. Why not?
you're already like frustrated with your job. What is how is this gonna be any different? Like at least you tried it. But I'm glad she did. And then basically like we set up like our profile first. We didn't even have a website back then. It's kind of like Upwork. I don't know if you're familiar with that website or like
Yes, yes, I
freelancer
understand.
dot com or something. But it's more for like like pairing
Mhm.
dog owners and sitters basically. So
Interesting.
we created a profile on like one of these websites, and then our first month we basically I think we only made like $1,500. Like it's not a lot, but it was like like it's like a good proof of concept. And then I told her specifically during that first month, we're not gonna like we're not gonna charge a lot because like the point of this is like to get as many reviews. That way, because like when you have more reviews, you're raising your reputation and you become more credible. So it's easier for you to sell later on, right? And then I'm really glad like like she listened with like I guess like my advice like with the digital marketing.
Right, right.
Then yeah, like I guess like fast forward to like 18 months in business, like she eventually quit her job. Like I think like the
Very cool.
first or no second month she quit her job. Yeah, I really don't remember. But anyway, like 18 months in, we scaled that business from zero to like basically making like 100K in the
Wow.
within that 18 months, and we never spent any money on ads.
Wow, very
We
cool.
just did it like with all about reputation management, SEO, and all that stuff. So basically, whatever I'm selling, I know for sure it works because we do it for our own business and not just the business that my wife has, but like my family's business as well.
Fascinating. And of course, you already have that use case, right? You really have that
Exactly.
example right there. Hey, this is what we've done. We brought it from zero to now a thriving business and no ads. I love that. That's like, boom, that's a great pitch right away. And of course, you doing that for your clients today over at Enzon Media. Calm. And by the way, I love that story with your wife because agreeing with your having to agree on one thing is only half the battle, but it's
Right.
already it's already quite the battle. But hey, you got it through, and you got her to buy in, and now everyone else bought in as well, and now you are doing the same. You're scaling up. Enzonmedia.com is the website. RG, talk to us about what you do. You have your website design, you have SEO, but what else do you do? You also mentioned psychology. You also mentioned strategies. What else is it that you offer over at Enzon Media?
Yeah. So basically, we're a full scale digital marketing agency, and we focus on small businesses and military first responders kind of deal. We focus on helping them create a side hustle that they eventually can help them quit their 9 to 5 job.
Of
That way
course.
they can focus on that, have more freedom and all that stuff. But essentially what we do is like it's like like kind of like a full circle process. So first thing you need is like your website, right? Because like you need to have like your website address on the internet. And then what comes after that? Obviously you need traffic. So how do you get traffic? Now we offer local SEO.
Yes.
And then once you start getting that traffic, you start closing sales. How do you get more people to buy from you, right? So we have our own reputation management software called Review Pal that we
Wow.
offer to
Very
our
cool.
clients, right? And then that software helps them get more reviews, display those reviews. That way they can use it as their marketing tool. And then now you get all of these reviews, you get you get this traffic, you already have your website, right? What's next? Obviously you want the same people that bought from you to come back and buy more from you. Why? Because it's more expensive to acquire a new customer instead of like selling to that current customer that you already have. So we introduce our other software, which is called Reward Pal, and then that's basically our loyalty and rewards software that we implement for their business. So it's really like a full circle digital
Love that.
marketing solution. And the cool part about it is that I'm born and raised in the Philippines. And I did my college there. So what I did is like I started hiring my college classmates, and then they made the software. So
I mean,
like it's
that's
like
it.
just all like everything in my life just goes full circle. It's crazy.
I love that. I love that you say full circle on business side, but also on the personal side. These stories, all these journeys, everything we've come through, it's nice. It's a nice feeling that it finally makes sense, right? And they all fall into place where whatever it is that we're doing is validating what we always wanted. And for you, in your case, Enzon Media, right? Full package service for anyone who wants to put themselves out there, starting with the website all the way to your sales. And of course, you're helping your friends along the way as well, which is always a rewarding feeling. And
Exactly.
you're not only rewarding your clients, you're also rewarding your friends. I love your name,
Yeah,
by the way.
definitely.
Review Pal, Reward Pal. Very, very
Yep,
cool.
it's all your marketing, pal.
Exactly. Very, very. As all of it. You are everyone's pal, RG. And of course, I'm glad that we had the opportunity to talk about this on the platform as well. Finally, as we start wrapping this up, the digital marketing, it always changes. It always evolves. It's constantly changing. What future trends do you see, especially with the AI? How do you see it shaping the success of small businesses? And of course, ends on media as well. And how do you plan to stay ahead?
I think for us, like it's really all about diving into AI more. Because like if you're not using AI nowadays, you're behind, right?
You're
Because
behind.
like yeah, like you're basically back there. Because like like AI thinks for you.
Yes,
All
of
you have to
course.
do is use it the way as if like you have to look at it as if that's another employee that you added onto your team, and like you can't think of it as just a magic tool, right? But you have to think of it as like one of your staff or like your employee or your team member. And when you start treating it that way, it's going to give you better results, better output. Because like if you are looking at it as a real person, you're not going to say, hey, I want you to grow my business, but I don't know how to tell you or like what to train you on, right? Like you're not gonna spend so much money paying an employee to do that without any direction. So you utilize AI with directions coming from you. That's like the game changer.
Right. That is it. Right. Why not? If this tool is there, that's what I always tell my friends. If you're avoiding AI, I don't know, man. It's like I don't think it's smart,
Exactly.
right? I don't think it's smart. People are going like they're being purists about it. Like I don't want it to,
Yeah.
I want it to still be human. I get that, but we're not going to lose our humanity and our creativity through
No, not at
AI.
all. Yeah.
But it'll be faster. Things are
Yep.
going to be
If
faster for
it,
us.
yeah.
So if you're in any kind of landscape, whatever industry you are in, if your competition or everyone else in the industry is using AI, you're way behind if you're not using it. So for our audience and listeners out there who's still on the fence about that, RG's right here reminding you guys jump on that train, get off that fence, get on the AI train. And of course, RG, thank you so much for your time. Of course, the website again is enzonmedia.com. Where else can we find you? Where else can we connect with you?
Just look me up, RG Enzon. I'll be on
Right.
Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram.
There's only one RG in the world, and we have him here today. RG, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much, man. This has been fun.
Fantastic. This has been fun. I hope you guys had fun as well. To our audience and listeners out there, thank you for watching the episode. We will see you on the next one. Bye bye.
All right, so here's the thing, we try to get a little bit better every day, but we can't do it without you. So if you like the video, make sure to like and subscribe below. And if you have any comments, just leave them in the space under.